And we're about to come in. The battle is starting, and same as before, it's just going to be a total walkover. And there we go, we're finished. Hey everyone, Joe here, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, the Roman Revival campaign. So in the last part, we had made some serious land acquisitions, but they came at a massive cost. We lost a few of our courtiers, including our best friend, Iones, and our previous heir, Qui-Gon Jinn. In an ironic sort of fashion, Obi-Wan Kenobi is taking over what Qui-Gon Jinn was originally supposed to. And first order of business is to get Obi-Wan Kenobi married off to a decent wife. Now, he's a little bit lacking in both martial and stewardship, so let's find a wife that potentially has some inheritable traits for him, as well as a decent stewardship and martial ability. Earlier we were looking at this character over here, Margarita, and while she's a decent character with a martial of 16, stewardship of 19, she's a little bit on the old side, and she has the inheritable trait Feeble, so that's definitely not something that we want to bring into our dynasty this early on. We can try and breed it out if that is the case, but I'd just rather not have to deal with it. So let's continue to look around and see what we have. Now there's this girl. She's only 14 years old, but she'll come of age in a couple of years. And she'll even come with an alliance. Now it's not going to be the best alliance, but she has the inheritable trait Intelligent. So let's go with Kelnissa. And it's also helpful that she's already the right religion, so we don't even need to convert her. Next up, since we have our spouse sorted, let's fill the vacancies in our council with Steward and Spy Master. And we'll just give Wedge and Biggs their spots back on the council. And then we'll assign Ki-Adi-Mundi to the Chancellor spot. And looking at Obi-Wan Kenobi's education trait, he's an intricate web weaver, so that means he is an intrigue character. So for his lifestyle, let's check out the intrigue perks that he has taken already. So he's already taken Dreadful and Thriving in Chaos. I'm not too crazy about the Thriving in Chaos perk, only because you don't want to be under stress too long. It's good if you are playing as a high stress character, but for the purposes of what I'd like to do, I'm just going to go ahead and reset the perks and take a couple of perks that I think might be more beneficial to Obi-Wan. So in resetting Obi-Wan's perks, it'll give him 70 stress, but it will not give him a mental break. We got just a free reset. So to start, I'm going to put Obi-Wan over on the Skullduggery focus. So we'll just stay on this for a few years, and in having an intrigue lifestyle, we'll be able to then pick the perks. What I've decided on going with is like Weeds in a Garden for the plus 30% fertility, and we'll give him back Dreadful for that increased dread gain. Also, want to give him a bit of a haircut. Let's give him medium curls, because that makes him look a little bit closer to Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones. I like it. We can also get Mon Mothma married, and I really like this character over here, Thomas. He has the genius trait, and he's willing to accept matrilineal as well. So Mon Mothma will lose a little bit of prestige, but we'll have a medium chance of getting children born in with the genius trait. I'm also going to start swaying our bishop just to get him on side, and at this point we probably do have temple vassals, so it's better to have him on our side. So in this part we're really going to need to manage the realm a bit before we go on and expanding. We might have overextended ourselves a little bit in the last part, but that's totally okay. What I'm going to do is allow Vladimir to continue to convert the provinces that we have, and Wedge will also continue to convert the provinces over to the Greek culture. And Andreas the Giant will go ahead and keep increasing control. And eventually we'll be able to then start revoking titles and shift titles around. I don't want to keep Ki-Adi-Mundi, Wedge, and potentially Biggs as well from owning land. I just want them to hold the right land, because I don't want Reggio Calabria and Cosenza. I'd rather directly control the counties over here on the Sicilian island. And looking at the titles that each character holds, Ki-Adi-Mundi holds his title that he was given, and Agrigentio and Messenia. So we'll definitely want to try to revoke those. Wedge holds Syracuse and Malta. I'm okay with Wedge continuing to control Malta, so we'll let him keep that. And Biggs obviously doesn't have any counties because he's not landed. And until we get married and start having children, Biggs is technically considered our heir. So let's get time ticking along and allow our realm to kind of come under a little bit more control. And right off the bat, Chiadimundi is trying to press for the Duchy of Sicily, and he's got Wedge on side, and they are way stronger than I am. Well, the game says they're way stronger than I am. They have a military strength of over 1,000%, but in looking at the totals, Chiadimundi's only got about 900 troops, and Wedge has about 500, so that's a little bit more than what I can put out. That's probably also factoring in what I'd get from them. But we also have money, so we can bring in some mercenaries if need be. Our alliance with our new girlfriend has come through, so in a pinch we can call in an extra 650 men. And Thomas has also come through on the marriage with Mon Mothma. I'm also going to swap Chiadimundi over to domestic affairs, just to improve my relationship with my vassals. And it turns out that Vladimir passed away and we've got a new bishop, so let's just go ahead and sway him instead. And officially, we have entered the medieval era. So let's check out some of the tech that we'd eventually be able to use. So it looks like, yeah, I think this was the previous fascination from the last part. That's okay. But what I'm hoping for is that we eventually move over to hereditary rule, so we can start shifting away from the strict partition laws. And unfortunately, my alliance has expired because this guy passed away and his title passed on to his son, and I don't think we can go ahead and get a new alliance from him. No, it doesn't appear we can. So we didn't betroth ourselves to her for the alliance, we betrothed for the traits. And checking back in on the faction to install Chiadimundi on the Sicilian throne, they now have 135% of my total strength. So that's a bit more manageable. Oh, and check that out. Biggs and I are starting to spend time together and we're being good friends. Looks like the peasants are revolting, so we can just easily take them on. And we can also confirm the marriage. And we actually get an alliance out of that. Cool beans. Alliance restored. So while we're waiting for all of our levies to raise, let's go ahead and have our wedding, and we are probably going to need more gold than anything, just in case if we ever need to hire some mercenaries for a potential civil war. But first, let's march up to Cosenza to take on these rebels, and then we'll go back down to Palermo to take on the rest. And shouldn't be too much of a problem for Andreas. And finally, let's head down to Palermo. I'm also going to set my wife to manage domain, so we bring in a little bit more gold and have more space in our domain limit. And we can take our time with getting to Palermo because the rebels don't have enough men to actually siege it down. And we're about to come in. The battle is starting. And same as before, it's just going to be a total walkover. And there we go. War finished. So let's put Andreas back to increasing control of Palermo. And we can take another lifestyle perk and give him Truth is Relative. So we're just going to keep waiting for something to happen. And it looks like Chiadimundi's inviting me to a feast, so let's absolutely go. We'll likely improve our relationship if we go. And thanks to this event here, we earn an extra scheme resistance. So that'll be +8 to our scheme resistance. So if anyone is scheming on us, we'll be more likely to find out. So we finished converting Palermo to Greek culture, and our bishop is starting to like us a little bit more. So let's send Wedge over to another county. Yeah, Messenia. Let's send him over to Messenia to convert that to Greek culture as well. And same with our bishop. He finished converting Palermo to Orthodoxy, and we'll send him over to Messenia. That'll take about 4 years. So both Wedge and Marco will be able to finish in about the same amount of time. And with the end of the feast, we lose 20 stress, and Chiadimundi gains 15 opinion of me for 5 more years. And it appears that Chiadimundi has left the faction, and the only person who's supporting it is Wedge. Excellent. And it does turn out that somebody is, in fact, trying to kill me. We don't know exactly who, but they only have a 5% chance to succeed. I'm gonna have Biggs search for some secrets over here in Syracuse because I'm starting to suspect that Wedge might be trying to kill me, especially since he's got 15 intrigue. So that means he's probably really trying to go in for me. I'll find out in about 7 months to see if he's really trying to kill me or not. And I've received a suspicious gift from Wedge, and I gain not feeling well for 7 years. So he definitely is trying to kill me. I knew it! I knew it! Well, it looks like our wife is now pregnant, so that means we have a chance of having an heir with the intelligent trait. Hopefully it's a boy. It appears that Wedge can no longer convert Messenia over to Greek culture because someone might have already been on that, which works for me. So let's go ahead and convert Malta. And we have a daughter. She unfortunately did not inherit any congenital traits, but that's okay. And we can name her after the main character of Rogue One, Jyn Erso. And it turns out that our bishop is starting to really like us. So now he endorses us. I knew it. Wedge really was trying to kill me. So now he's considered a criminal and I can rightfully imprison him. So let's give that a try here. He will not accept. There is no chance that he'll accept it, and he will likely rise up in rebellion with other disgruntled vassals. But that is fine because we can totally take them on. And since he's the only one trying to install Chiadi-Mundi to the Sicilian throne, we don't have any reason to worry that we'll lose this war. There we go. I just moved our rally point over here to Agrigentio so that way we can better march into Syracuse once he revolts. In fact, what I'm thinking, since we know he's going to revolt, move our rally point over to his capital in Syracuse, raise all of our armies, and then let time tick along. So our troops will start to gather, but it'll be too late. We're already on his capital. I don't think we're able to siege him down since we started there. So let's go chase him down. We'll also need a new steward, since Wedge was actually our steward. And Mayor Martha is good enough for the job, and she's a powerful vassal anyway. So it appears that he is hanging out here in Messenia, but we're going to destroy him. Here they go. Battle has started, and yeah, as I predicted, the battle is going along. They've got the horse advantage, it appears, because of our archers, but it doesn't matter. We've got the superior commander, we've got more troops. Turns out we killed Samuel. Rip Samuel. And we've also got another lifestyle perk. And since we're probably going to need it moving forward, let's give Obi-Wan Court of Shadows to have Disrupt Scheme's effectiveness at 50% increase. And we can also feel free to swap him over to a different focus, because I don't really want to hang out in the intrigue tree for too long. So let's go over to our mainstay, the wealth focus, and start building up a nice income base. Also, this was the guy that we had captured at the end of the war. Since he's not willing to pay for his release, and he's a different religion from us, we can execute him without being viewed as a tyrant. And we'll even gain 13 dread. Let's march down to Syracuse now to finish sieging it out. And let's switch Biggs over to Disrupt Schemes since we don't need to search for secrets anymore. We know that Wedge was trying to kill me. Let's move our bishop over to Cosenza to start converting that to Orthodoxy. And it'll take us about 7 months to finish sieging down Syracuse. And once that's done, we'll likely have to go over to Malta. And it's likely that it won't take the full length of time because we've got siege weapons, and every 12 days we're getting a siege event. And now it's every 8 days because we've breached the walls. We could assault the fort if we really wanted to, but it's not worth losing those troops in the battle, especially since they're moving into Palermo now. They're not going to be able to take it. Oh no. I'm starting to suspect that my wife is cheating on me. I have a 70% chance. No. Well, she doesn't necessarily dislike me, but she doesn't like me either. So there could be someone out there trying to seduce her. Let's investigate it myself. It'll give me a little bit of stress, but I have a 78% chance of figuring it out. And no proof of infidelity, so I've just gained the stress. And it looks like my wife is pregnant now. Hopefully it's mine. It better be. We've got about a week. And we will take Syracuse. Let's head back over to Palermo. They have 4 months to finish with the siege, so we will definitely get there within time to beat them back. And we'll even get the defenders' advantage because we'll be defending our territory. They're trying to run away. And we caught them. It looks like the forces are evenly matched. But because we have the better commander in Andreas the Giant, we will have no issues with taking them down. And there we go. After that battle, we have won. So let's go ahead and enforce our demands. Wedge is now imprisoned, and the faction to install Chiarimundi has now been disbanded because the only person who was a part of the faction is now imprisoned. And because he's a criminal and he revolted against us, we can revoke his titles. So let's take Syracuse off of him. And I could take Malta off of him. He would accept, but I would be considered a tyrant for doing so. So at the very least, let's hold off until we are able to fabricate a claim on Malta to strip him of it. He's not leaving my prisons. There's no way I'm going to be letting him back out, especially after attempting to murder me. So even though the game is saying I could ransom him, and I could ransom him for 50 gold, he hates me, and he wants absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't doubt he would try and murder me again. So let's send Andreas back to Palermo to increase control. It'll take about 3 more years. And let's go ahead and continue to invest in Palermo, because this will be our capital for a while. Yeah, let's go ahead and start building up some manor houses. That'll give us an extra 0.7 gold a month. So that's absolutely worth it. And because we have Syracuse back, we can continue to upgrade it. Turns out we won't be able to continue to upgrade Syracuse until we've discovered battlements. And we are nowhere close to discovering battlements, because that is not what the Basilius is interested in. And our wife has given birth to an intelligent son. Now, I know exactly what I'm going to name this intelligent son. We are going to name him Anakin, and then make him my ward. So we're going to educate him ourselves. He's too young to select an education focus, but he is now the chosen one. And it looks like Wedge is trying to ransom himself out. Absolutely not. Not happening, Wedge. And it looks like from prison, Wedge is ordering people to launch dead bodies into my county. So let's just go ahead and launch it right back. We're going to become rivals with Wedge, and he's going to lose 40 opinion of me. But he already has minus 100% opinion of me, so it's just going to make him my rival. And it looks like a servant is stealing from me. Let's show her mercy. She gains opinion of me, and I get a strong hook on her. And our wife is pregnant again. Hopefully it's a girl. And it turns out it is a boy, and he has no congenital traits. The game wants me to have him named Qui-Gon Jinn, but it's too soon. We can't name characters after a character that died tragically within a part. So let's name him after Luke Skywalker's tail gunner from Empire Strikes Back, Dak Ralter. May you grow up to be wise and strong, my son. Martha has finished converting Malta, so let's move her over to Cosenza. That'll take her 5 years. And Andreas will be done in 40 days, and Marco will be done in 4 months. We can take our first stewardship perk, and we're going to go ahead and take golden obligations. We have some hooks on people, so maybe we'll be able to use those to our advantage. Andreas has finished in Palermo, so let's move him over to Syracuse. And since Sermon Marco likes us, we can stop swaying our bishop. Now that all of our counties have been converted to Orthodoxy, we can start fabricating claims. I'm going to start with Malta, just to get back at Wedge. And it looks like our bishop just died, so we have a new one, and we need to sway him, because he doesn't like us too much. And it turns out that Anakin is charming. So that means Anakin is probably either going to be a diplomat or an intrigue character. And just checking in on his siblings, it looks like Jyn Erso is curious, so that means she could be a diplomat or a learning character. And Dak is still a little too young for us to know what he's going to turn out like. And just checking in with Wedge's kids, it looks like Greedo has come of age, and he turned out pretty good. He's a Grey Eminence. Jabba also turned out pretty good. He's a skilled tactician. And Sebulba is still a little too young, but he's coming along all right as well. He's rowdy and he's temperate. And then he's got a sister named Nona. Clearly, Wedge stopped with the naming scheme. Ooh, got a problem. I could be dying. All because of Wedge. He made me not feeling well. And now that I'm ill, I'm dying. So let's send for a physician right away. And not take any chances. Dorothea, she's a physician. She's relatively smart. So let's just go ahead and take Dorothea as our court physician. And please, do no more than necessary. I'm worse. I'm worse. I very well could die any minute now. Oh no. I am near death. This is not good. Wedge just might get his... Wedge just might get the last laugh here. New Basilius. Nothing too much to write home about. He's a pretty smart dude. That's about it. Come on, Obi-Wan. Pull through. You're too young to die. You're only 32. And alas, he was taken from us far too soon. Rest in peace, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Unfortunately, he really wasn't able to do much in his life, because most of his life was spent trying to manage the realm. And now, we're stepping into the shoes of a 3-year-old Anakin. What are we gonna do? Okay. So, not the end of the world. Let's take a look at what titles we've lost. So we've lost the Duchy of Calabria. I guess it was created when Obi-Wan died, and we lost Reggio Calabria and Cosenza to our little brother. He's only 2. We probably have an implicit claim on that, so we can go ahead and just snatch those up. So we keep Syracuse and Palermo. Okay. Well... hopefully, Duke Anakin has a long and healthy life. But I think that's enough for now. If you like what you saw here today, please feel free to hit the like button. It helps out the channel. If you disliked it, absolutely feel free to dislike. I will not be upset. If you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you later. We can technically assort the